Hey guys, welcome back to Rickommended Eats. Today we're making Cubanos from the movie Chef. The recipe comes from Binging with Babish and Jon Favreau. We're going to start off the same way Binging with Babish did, with a 4-pound bone-in pork shoulder that we're going to remove the skin from. Make sure to leave the fat cap under the skin as intact as possible, as we'll be scoring it in a diamond pattern for proper rendering. To make the brine, we're going to combine 4 cups of orange juice, 2 cups of water, 1/4 cup of spiced rum, 1/4 cup of rice. Jesus, this is, oh god. Okay, 1/4 cup of rice vinegar, 1/2 cup of kosher salt, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 head of garlic, or about 10 to 12 cloves, pressed or finely minced. And then we're going to coarsely chop fresh sage, some leaves of thyme, just pick them off the stems if they're super dry like mine, some fresh sprigs of rosemary, also coarsely chopped. Make sure not to forget the last ingredient, 3 bay leaves. Stir that together, grab your pork shoulder, pour that brine over the top, cover with plastic wrap and refrigerate overnight. The next day, get the marinade started by toasting in a dry skillet 2 tablespoons of whole cumin and then freshly grind that in a mortar and pestle by hand. In a medium bowl, combine 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil, the zest and juice of 3 oranges, the zest, juice, and, as Binging with Babish says, carcasses of 6 limes. Beware of any minor cuts or scrapes that you might have on your skin, because this is going to get really burny. Add to that 2 teaspoons of dried oregano or 2 tablespoons fresh oregano coarsely chopped. Coarsely chop up about 1/2 cup of cilantro leaves and stems. And add that to the bowl. We're also going to add 1/4 cup of coarsely chopped fresh mint. Man, this smells amazing. You guessed it, another whole head of garlic, about 10 to 12 cloves, finely minced or pressed. A few big pinches of kosher salt, and some freshly ground black pepper. And lastly, we're going to add that freshly ground toasted cumin and mix that all together. Go ahead and uncover that overnight brined pork shoulder. Place it on a towel and pat dry. In another bowl that magically appears, place that pork shoulder that's now patted dry into it and pour the marinade over, including the lime carcasses. And just like Binging with Babish recommended, give that pork shoulder a shoulder massage. If need be, move those lime carcasses around to make that pork shoulder a little more comfortable in its new digs. Cover once again with plastic wrap and refrigerate at least up to 2 hours. Remove the pork shoulder from the marinade and these limes are so in the way. Place onto a wire rack in a rimmed baking sheet and baste with remaining marinade. Place that in a 350-degree oven for 2.5 to 3 hours or until the internal temp reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Let rest for at least 30 minutes and marvel at your work. To assemble your Cubanos, butter the plancha or griddle in my case, or the insides of the bread and toast until golden brown. Fry up a couple thin slices of the roast pork. And as you can see in the background, I'm preheating another cast iron skillet to help with the press technique since I don't have a plancha. Lay down some thin slices of ham as well and let those fry up. Once browned, layer the ham and pork slices on top of the sandwich, top with Swiss cheese and sliced pickles, Spread yellow mustard on the inside top half of the bun, butter the outside of the sandwich, and using the preheated skillet, press it down to mimic a plancha. Continue cooking until the bread is nicely browned and the cheese is completely melted. When the sandwich is done cooking, cut it diagonally, or I guess try, I might have cooked this a little too much. Take a quick picture and enjoy.